Angry guy here, and password bros are winning as Western women are losing everything. Password bros are winning as Western women are losing everything. Pa- Password bros have essentially turned their backs on Western women. They've walked away from the plantation and they are living happy lives with their Asian wives or Latinas or Eastern European white women. Their Western women are infuriated by this and they are losing everything. In 2023, they are losing absolutely everything. And not only that, you have the Asian women who are standing up to these Western women who are because the Western women are bashing these women in Asia because their men are walking away and the only thing they know how to do is shame. Let's go ahead and jump into the video.
Well, I did the things. I put on the things, and I inserted things into the things.
Why do women always try to run from this? Translation.
She belongs to the streets.
Kind of weird is when you only date people outside your country.
You know what's crazy to me is the fact that you think you know the reason why these passport bros leave America and they are only likes Asian women.
Not only Asian women, but any woman in general that a man finds attractive, because we can pick up on that quickly. We find her visually attractive. We like, oh, damn, she's beautiful. That's all that matters. Men don't really care about color.
Like it's their fetish.
No.
But you didn't realize that having a green hair is a no-no. That having green hair doesn't suit you. You know what I mean? Stop acting like you know everything, like jumping into conclusion why people or men, these men leave the country and find relationship in another country. Like you know it all. But you cannot face the facts, why they're leaving. Good to project and rationalize and forget to look at the mirror. You know, makes y'all more ugly.
Honestly, do not believe that it's a fetish. I actually disagree.
So the honest to goodness truth right now is the more that the passport pro movement takes off, the more that men walking away is growing, the more empowered foreign women, Asian women, women in Eastern Europe, women in Latin America, women in South America, the more these women are becoming empowered, the more powerful they feel because right now it was the American women, especially American black women, and that felt that they were superior to these women overseas. They said that these women are poor, these women are uneducated, these women cannot speak English, and now these women are seeing, the women in these countries are watching all these men rush across over, and they're getting access to the money that these guys have. They're getting good husbands because these are men who actually want to be married. So they're not out in the streets. Because a lot of men, let me tell y'all, Mexico, South America, Eastern Europe, Asia, listen to me. A lot of the men in these countries are in the streets. I'm just being real with y'all. A lot of these men are in the streets. They have multiple sets of kids with different women, and they don't provide for their kids, and they don't provide for the women that they have children with, and the government cannot do anything about it. It's not like America where they can take the money out of your check. Some of these guys are day laborers. Some of them only make $300 a month, and if they take the money from the guy, if they take all of his income, right, because some of these people get paid in cash, and if he gets a check and the government goes and takes all of it, let's say they confiscate it from his bank account, then guess what? He can't live anymore. So if he doesn't have money to live, then they're going to say that, well, then he can't survive. And if he can't survive, then he's not going to work. So it's not like America where they'll destroy your entire life and say, well, leave a guy with literally no money so that he ends up having to live, be homeless. Because this actually happens in America. They'll completely take a guy's entire check if he's back on child support or whatever, and he'll end up living on the streets. So sometimes they'll take his entire check and then say that, oh yeah, and he still owes us. All right, and then what ends up happening? The guy doesn't have money for food. The guy doesn't have a place to live. So what's he doing? Sometimes they're sleeping in the woods. These guys start stealing. Eventually, they get fired from their jobs, and it's crazy. But and the difference so it's bad. And what's really happening is a lot of men are waking up and they're saying, yeah, that's I'm not about that life, and they're going overseas and they're starting new lives, and it's phenomenal. And these women are saying the foreign women are now beginning to flex. The foreign women are now beginning to flex on American women, like, yeah, boo, we're taking your man. We're taking your man. They don't want you. They don't want you, all right? You need to miss us with that. We're going to take every single one of them, all right? Watch your mouth. I'm taking your man. We love your black men. Oh, mwah, 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 mwah. We love your white men. We'll take every single one of them. We take all your men, all right? Because we're not like you. We don't discriminate. We don't see skin color like you. This is what's happening right now. This is what's happening right now, because what women are looking for, rather than focusing on external attributes like how tall this person is. Don't get me wrong, women want a guy that's taller than them. But you have to remember that in some of these countries, like the Philippines, the Filipino guys are like the average height in the Philippines. I forget if it's 5'1" or 5'5". I think it's 5'5". So Filipino men are also short. All right. So when you have like American guys that are like 5'9" and 5'10", they're basically towering over the Filipina that's like 5'1", 5'2". So there she hits the lottery. And I've heard some delusional Filipinos say, I want a guy who's over 6 feet and this and this and this. Most Filipinos are not like that, to be very clear. But some of them of course have American influence, or they have these crazy standards, and these are the women who are going to end up often getting nothing at all. Sometimes they might find the guy they want, but a lot of them will often end up getting nothing at all if they start acting like American women. Because for the average Filipina, a guy that's 5'7", 5'8", when in their country the average height is like 5'5" or lower, that's men who are taller. That's guys who are quite tall. Do you see what I'm saying? So I mean, they're winning the lottery. In their country, the average person makes, let's say, $3,600 a year, and then they have a guy from America who's pulling in $36,000 a year. That's 10 times the average salary. All right. And you have to understand, like $3,600 in their country is like 36,000, and it's like 36,000 in terms of spending power, right? And so 36,000 US dollars in the Philippines, that's like $360,000, more or less. More or less. It's not entirely, but more or less. All right. So you're going to be able to, because for like housing, you're going to spend like 100. You can rent a place to live, a decent place to live for less than $100 in the Philippines. You can rent a nice house for $200 or less in the Philippines. You can live very, very cheap in the Philippines. You could build a house for a nice house. I'm talking about a big house, really nice, for $20,000. Okay? And there are ways that you can actually hold on to that property. There's, for example, as a Philip, you're not allowed to own property, and you're not allowed to own land, but you can own property. So you can own a condo, for example, in the Philippines. Foreigners can for example, own a condo, but they cannot own land. Right? So what a lot of foreigners do is they'll put the house in their wife's name, although there is another option I've heard of, which is you could start a corporation in the United States, and then the corporation can technically own the land in the Philippines or lease the land, so thereby you would own the land, right? This to my understanding. So that's one way you'll be able to take ownership of the land in the Philippines and protect yourself. So in that respect, you could then say that, okay, yeah, I do own the house, because you'd be able to sell the house through the corporation later on, and then take care of your business that way. And I'm assuming that an LLC is basically, you can file as an S corp when you run an LLC, and if you file as an S corp, you're basically filing for tax purposes as a corporation. So it essentially gives you corporation status. And so in that respect, I'm suspicious that if you form an LLC and file as an S corp, that may meet the requirement, so that you can purchase property doing that. But there are a variety of different ways of dealing with things in the Philippines. Ultimately, you don't even have to purchase a house. You could rent something for $200 a month and live like a freaking king. All right. American men are done. For American, UK men around the world are done with the nonsense. They're walking away. They're sick of the games. They're tired of it. They are absolutely tired of it. And guys, by the way, if you're enjoying these videos, please go ahead, subscribe to the channel if you already haven't. Turn on notifications so never miss another video again, and like the video so that YouTube will continue suggesting more of my videos to you. All right, and guys, if you want to help me to continue putting out more content like this, please consider dropping me some cash via Cash App or PayPal. The links are on the screen. Give me some Red Bull money so I have enough energy to put out more quality content for you guys, and also the links are in the description of the video. Guys, wake up. Realize that passive roles are winning as Western women are losing everything. They're losing their men. They're losing their money. They're losing their minds. They're taking a big L. They're taking a big L, all right? They're losing their identity. They're losing everything. And, I mean, it's the pendulum is swinging back the other way. It swung far left, and now it's heading right. And it's going to take a while before it goes all the way, all right? It's going to take decades. Like I said, it's going to take maybe 75 years for the relationship in Western society to return back to normal between men and women. It's going to take multiple generations. It won't happen with Gen Z. It won't happen with the generation after them, Generation Alpha, their generation will be finished being born come around 2025 or 2027. That's the end of Generation Alpha right there. Okay, so over the next 2 to 4 years, the children that should be the generation that should have been the children of the millennials will be completely born, and done with. All right. So then we'll be looking to the generation after that, which I think is Generation Beta, maybe. And this generation is not going to be any better. They're going to be spoon-fed the same jargon that has been fed to generations for quite some time. It's going to take multiple generations for things to change. And eventually, there may come a day, like I said, into the future where you ask a woman, women basically, the future women are basically like, I don't even know, like they're so humbled. They're so humbled because they've lost everything as a result of how feminism has impacted them, that they're forced to, future generations of women are forced to return to a more humble state because men in their countries don't deal with them, so they're basically left to the mercy of the state, and being left to the mercy of the state is absolutely terrible. Women without men, men are the protectors of society and men are the protectors of women. And when men basically say, yeah, we're not protecting anymore, if you want help, you're going to have to pay us, it completely changes the structure of society. A society without its men is a wasteland. Let's just be very clear about that. Anyway, guys, I want to know what you guys think about this, everything we've discussed. If you like the video, please go ahead and hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you like the video, share the video. And just remember that all roads lead to MWA, men walking away. And cheers.